us about it.
You are a pervy, self-entitled creep. That's it. That's all. A creep.
I am, in the sense that I have crept into your soul as the morning light creeps through the crepuscular forest, so that you feel my dew-steaming fingers penetrating your eviscerated dreams, which, like palpitated polyps, might at any moment burst orgasmically.
I've asked you to leave me alone 100 times, and either you don't listen or you just don't care. This isn't persistence. This is stalking. I lock the front door and so you come in through the window. You scared the shit out of me, and you let out all the peacocks.
And I am grievously sorry for the loss of your pigeons.
Peacocks.
Every one of which is as treasured by me as is the entirety of your intellect and the aggregate of your élan vital.
I'm filing for a restraining order.
You would hold up a flimsy film of paper to halt a hurricane? You would try snag a gamboling gibbon with a paper bag and cage the raging lion in a pen of onion skin?
I'm leaving town. Don't follow me. Don't look for me. Don't even think of me ever again. I swear I'll have you arrested on sight.
I wonder what she meant by that. It is a strange come hither. But then Fialova is mystery embodied. She is whim and wonder all wound into one. Shall I pursue her as before? Or instead drive through my own ribs the barbed hook of hope unfollowed, and so hoist myself like a side of beefcake to dangle in love's butcher shop window? I could ask father for his advice. He is quite sage on the matters of love. Oh, what shall I do? Oh, where should I go?
We all are so incredibly impressed by your decision-making ability. Such morality. Such morality. It couldn't be a lie. It's you. This is really you. Good for you. Good for you. You liar.
Father, once again, the sun darkens your doorway.
Damn.
You look surprised to see me.
I feel surprised to know you.
I am here to pick your brain.
A strangely formal way for a vulture to start his meal.
Whatever is grandmother raging about today?
Shrinkflation. Although personally I think 900 milligrams of Adderall is still more than enough for a single day. But, what do I know?
Father, I seek counsel on a matter of love. Fialova resists my overtures.
Ah, and if she can't get past the overture, how will you ever introduce the first act?
Exactly.
Listen, Max, I was rather hoping you'd drop this Fialova business on your own, but I suppose I have no choice but to let you in on a little family secret. It will be a bitter pill to swallow. Perhaps you should vet a path for it. Here, drink this.
Poison!
Oops, it is. Quick, dilute it with this.
It's the same poison.
Did I not pour from a different bottle? What was I thinking?
I am intoxicated.
Only time will tell if it's a fatal dose or if I should serve you 3 the next time you visit.
What does that mean?
It means we must be patient, Max. Now walk with me. I have a tale to tell. In my youth, I was the wildest of bucks, the buckiest of bucks, and I bucked to my heart's content. Yes, I did quite a bit of bucking. And it was during that period of balls-to-the-wall buckery that I met Fialova's mother. She was the spitting image of your current object of desire, and that is not an old man's rheumy-eyed nostalgia. No, I swear by the beatific needle-sharp tits of Saint Teresa that Fialova's mother was, at the same age, her identical twin. Identical. I spent one glorious evening with that parallel Fialova in a suite at the Imperial Hotel of Carlsbad. It all started quite innocently. It bottomed... Miss Jones. Well, I don't know if it was the liquor or the food or the pornography, but soon we were in a high state of arousal. Oh, what a raunchy romp her rump would launch that night. There wasn't a perversion that wasn't heeded, and there wasn't a dirty phrase too depraved, too debauched that she didn't demand for me to repeat it. Oh, you keep your female angels and living goddesses. I don't see them that way, and I don't care to. My point is, my night with Fialova's mother was quite a divertissement. I remember the date precisely, August the 9th, and I'll tell you why I do. Though her mother left the country shortly thereafter, I later received word of Fialova's birth. Which occurred almost exactly 9 months to the day after that triumphant tryst in Carlsbad. 9 months. Though Fialova moved to the city only last year, it was the first time I had seen her, and it was quite a shock too. For it was as if her mother had returned, having aged not a minute since that sultry night 27 years ago that I doppelbanged her. Surely at this point, son, you must be following me.
Actually, Father, I haven't understood a word you've said.
Stop trying to Fialova.
Impenetrable.
That's another way of putting it, yes.
I am referring to your speech, old man. Word salad, followed by a steaming bowl of mumbo-jumbo gumbo.
You're going to hate the final course. It's just desserts.
Enough of this blather about the devil jonesing for needle-sharp chandeliers. When did you become completely senile?
2 weeks ago, it was quite the event. I had it catered.
I must find myself an advisor less aged and addlepated than you. Wait, of course. Fialova's aunt, Variabelle. She is a great thinker, a scientist, and respected inventor. Although perhaps a bit less respected ever since she claimed to have built a time machine. I'll bet she wishes she could unmake that announcement to the scientific community.
Well, if she hasn't built a time machine that works, then she can't unmake it, and so she might wish for it. But if she has, then she didn't, and so she doesn't.
Yes, she will do for me better than you. She is supremely educated and clever, and, more importantly, is likely to be a wellspring of women's intuition.
Ooh, she'll really enjoy you asking her about her women's intuition.
Agreed. And so I will seek the guidance, extempore, of Variabelle, that lady of temporal science, who knows Fialova's temperament of temerity nearly as well as I do. What recursive culminations might be gleaned between a Frankenstein with the dream of a time machine, and a libertine with the means to be a love machine.
Yeah, you're really going to fucking hate how this ends.
Really quite impressive. The way that you've decided to be mature enough once again to cease in pursuit of Fialova OMG.
Adieu, Papa. Adieu. I shall order diapers for you. Egad! But what is this? I discern a distinctly familiar devil of an Adonis, a non-spermatic bag of penis, who, in a singular multiplicity, respawns himself again and again via some forceless form of parthenogenesis. Yes, it is none other than my forsworn nemesis, that bronzed and brawny, crudely handsome, moneyed missing link, Chadwick von Gesrolendink. Oh, that the Maxes should be so taxed by these blasted Chadwickses.
Would you shut the fuck up, Max?
Where was I? Oh, yes. Bad, bland Chadwick. What a half-wit Hippomenes who tosses kettlebells instead of golden, delicious pursuits. But, forsooth, so too Fialova has confused her forbidden fruits, as if, in her escape, she could strew a few sour grapes and thus elude me, who bears for her such a horn of plenitude. And how can I but fume that I should be denied an Eden, all because the apple of my eye, whom God beget to be eaten, refuses to be equally consumed. Oh, I am another Adam, who was first aggrieved in all creation, but even worse aggrieved than him. For I have not yet come upon the eve of my consummation.
You are just such a fucking idiot.
Reginald, I have written the greatest novel of all time.
Ah, I'm excited to read it, provided it's not a story about an artist who thinks his work is being ignored because he happens to be rich.
It's a story about an artist whose work is being ignored because...
Ah, fuck.
Listen, I really have written a most powerful indictment of modern society.
As powerful as your last novel, the one about the guy who felt emasculated because his wife was a better chess player. What was the title of that again?
Stop, Rook, and listen. That novel should have leapt into instant fame, much as a pawn leaps from one end of the board to the other.
Wow.
This novel reveals just how difficult it is to be a wealthy, upper-class genius in a world that cares only about the victims of systemized bigotry. I call it a poor time to be rich.
You really suffer for not suffering at all.
Exactly. Just because I wasn't born an orphan in the slums of Bombay,
Mumbai.
I will not be mum. And don't call me boy.
I worry that you might come across like a fop, one who's outraged at losing his unmerited privileges.
Privileges?
The silver spoon is still in your...
Take this. Privileges?
Listen, Max, I'd love to discuss this further, but I have a self-defenestration scheduled for the moment you leave my office.
Wait, I also wanted to speak to you about the publishing of my epic poem, The Passionate Shepherd to His Sheepish Love.
That's the bestiality title I've ever heard.
Thank you.
I thought there was a court order preventing you from writing poetry again.
That was all a misunderstanding. My chapbook just had a few typos in it.
You were charged with libel because of typos?
An outrage, yes. It was a wonderful poem, too, about the stillness of tantric sex. The line in question was supposed to be printed as, budge gently as a racy basis.
Instead, it was printed as...
Judge Bentley is a baby rapist. Listen, this is why I want you to take charge of my epic. A real publisher won't make such egregious printing errors.
I trust this new poem doesn't start with the pronoun I.
I?
I. Most poems that start with I tend to be masturbatory.
This poem is far from masturbatory. It's...
A stroke of genius?
Yes.
Does it in fact contain multiple strokes of genius?
Many of them.
Quick strokes in rapid succession?
It's not masturbatory. In my poem, I compare the eyes of my lover to the Rocky Mountains.
Because they're both riddled with cataracts?
Because they have a virgin wildness, as well as a superior outlook. And then I compare myself to a Spanish galleon during the golden age of sail.
Both major carriers of syphilis.
Both neatly trimmed vessels carrying golden treasures within. Oh, just read it yourself. Well, now you've done it. I've become so heated that my hand is stuck to the sealing wax. It's not.
Damn, Max is taking stalking to a whole new level. I'm not sure he should be trusted with that gun, but I do love a good